That would be crazy.
Yeah, because I mean, Galactus eats planets. Might as well have him destroy their planet and have them stranded and having to find a new home, and that would be badass.
That would be badass. And we might not get it in this movie, but I really hope we get the Silver Surfer done right on the big screen.
You know what?
He's
You don't
one
want to
of
see
my
the
most-
service who sims for Invincible Woman from the second movie? So weird.
I mean, who wouldn't though?
Vanessa Kirby.
Anyways,
But hey.
Silver Surfer is one of my most favorite characters in
really?
Fantastic Four. Yes. The complexity of him and just the turmoil that he goes through because he's the messenger and he has to call Galactus and just that whole dynamic. I really, really like it.
Hey, welcome to the Popcorn Perspective. Wow, what a fun Super Bowl. What did you think about that game, Jay?
Okay, so as someone who does not care about the NFL or the Super Bowl, I was really in it just to watch the ads and the halftime show. So, yeah, after the halftime show, in all honesty, I just put on Severance because that was more entertaining to me.
Yeah, no, you probably lucked out because the game was not that good. It was kind of a one-sided game, which I'm okay with. It's kind of fun to see the Chiefs lose finally. They've been unstoppable for the past like 5 years, so it's kind of cool to see someone beat them. But yeah, the commercials and trailers were kind of lackluster, wasn't it? I felt like we were.
I
I think
thought the only one that actually did a really good job was the Pixel one. I don't know if you haven't seen it, but that one I thought they did a really good job with.
like the Pixel phone.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, I didn't see that one. No.
yeah.
Okay.
That was pretty good. I enjoyed that one.
I like the Harrison Ford and Jeep commercial. I thought that was pretty decent, but
That was a good one. The Glenn
yeah,
Powell one was hilarious, I thought.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah.
I
It's
mean,
like
there's
the
a
three bears, like the
oh yes, yeah.
Goldilocks.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, I saw that one. Yeah, that was pretty funny. But usually, I feel like whenever I think of Super Bowl commercials, I'm usually hyped up for the trailers, and it was kind of
We didn't
lackluster.
get much.
No,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, we didn't get much.
we got a Thunderbolt trailer, which was insane. That actually looks pretty damn good. We had Jurassic World Rebirth and like a little teaser in the Puppy Bowl for Superman. Really not much shown on that. It's more just James Gunn just trolling the audience, and it was it's an we'll get into that. I have a little bit to talk about that little teaser that we got with Guy Gardner's Green Lantern. But other than that, yeah, I mean the Super Bowl itself is kind of congratulations though to Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. Definitely y'all deserve that win. That was a nasty game, but where did you want to start off with? Like, I know we were talking about off screen here. A couple of the trailers we've seen over the past couple of weeks. We were talking about Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four, but which one did you want to dive your teeth into first?
Okay, so you know me, when we first did a review of what movies are coming out this year, I didn't really have Thunderbolts as one of my top 10 to watch. But seeing that trailer, they actually reeled me back in. What I
Yeah.
really liked about it, it kind of gave us, when James Gunn did Suicide Squad,
Hmm.
it kind of gave me that little bit of a feel. And I was like, if they do it and they do it right, in my opinion, they should be doing this as a rated R. They're not going to. They'll be
Yeah.
fine. But I think they have a shot at making us like these ragtag group and trying to take down something that they shouldn't.
Because hot take here, I know this is a hot take. Everyone loves the Red Guardian. The voice the actor who plays him is Dave Harbour. He's a great
Dan
actor.
Harbour, yeah.
I don't care for that character all that much. I find him his over the top, obnoxious, pro Russia, Red Guardian, Red Wave, and all this. It's just kind of over the top, personally. But the little bit we got in the trailer had me dying. It seems that maybe just I'm finally just used to it. Where I'm like, yeah, whatever, it is what it is. He seemed entertaining, and I did like. I'm not sure if you've seen What If. Have you seen season 3 for What If?
I haven't yet.
Okay, there was a episode that was just Bucky and the Red Guardian on the run from the U.S. government. It was such a fun episode. This takes place back in like the 90s or so, like right before Tony Stark's parents got assassinated. That's
Okay.
that's how everything kind of unraveled. I'll let you watch the episode, but those two worked off each other so well, and it was the same voice actors, Stan
Sebastian
and
Stan.
Sebastian
Yeah.
and David Harbour both reprised their roles. So they had a great back and forth. So I think just for that alone, I'm kind of excited to see how those two play off each other in live action. Um, and the Sentry, wow, we finally got some action scenes with him, and that looks insane.
Yeah, so that is such a complex character. I don't even know much about the Sentry or the Void. And from the little search I did, it's basically a split personality. He's the same guy, but the Sentry is his persona of trying to do good and be good, and the Void is the exact opposite of that.
It kind of reminds me of Moon Knight, how Moon Knight had like this split
Yeah.
personality. One is just I'm a museum worker who loves Egyptian history, and one is like I'm literally a demi, like I'm like a avatar for a god.
And then there's a third one, the crazy one.
Yeah, I really want. That's another show I cannot wait for season two. They gotta give us a season two. That show was so fun.
Seems
But
like it. It seems like there is a season two in
is
the
there?
works.
Oh, good, good, well deserved. But yeah, I don't know anything about the Void or the Sentry based on a little bit that I've read online. He's a very vague hero or like character to me, but the little bit we got, he definitely seems interesting.
I agree. And this trailer really did what it's supposed to, which was it was supposed to hook people because so yeah, we don't get to see much of Taskmaster. What do you think
No,
was with that?
I have a theory, and I have a feeling it's probably true, which kind of sucks because Taskmaster is an interesting character that I really wanted them to redeem in this movie, but I have a feeling she's gonna be the first one dead, just to show that this movie has stakes and that people may or may not die. She might be the only one who dies, and it's kind of keeping you on the edge, like, oh no, she died within the first 5 minutes of the movie or 10 minutes of the movie. That means anyone could die. But of all the trailers and teasers, and there's been quite a few trailers at this point, maybe like two or three trailers, and like 4 or 5 teasers, TV spots, we might have seen her like 2 to 3 seconds total.
Yeah, I didn't really connect with the character Taskmaster in
Yeah, Captain
the
Marvel. Oh
Black
no,
Widow
Black Widow. Black Widow.
movie. But in fairness, that wasn't maybe the best movie. I didn't mind it that much, but
Well, so Master from the little bit I know of that character, I'm not sure if they're like it's enhanced or they train, but they're like they can counter every Avengers moves basically. It was just very lackluster, and Black Widow, she had that cool fight scene on the bridge, but other than that, it was just kind of
yeah,
forgettable of a character.
agreed.
So if they don't kill her off, I hope to redeem her. I hope they actually make us like, oh shit, this is a badass, not just a one-off villain that we forgot about until they brought it back like 10 years later. But we'll see, we'll see.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely agree with that. And I think for me to round off Thunderbolts, I really can't wait to see Sebastian Stan lead the team. It seems like he's actually going to be the one who's keeping everything in control and leading the team. And I think the back and forth with the Crimson Red or whatever,
Red
uh,
Guardian.
Red Guardian, and who's the guy who was the Captain America and then it was taken away from
Yeah,
him?
no, he's going by the nominal U.S. agent, the
Yes.
nickname.
I think their back and forth with the US agent and the Russian dude will be pretty funny. I think there'll be a lot of on the nose jokes
I
that they
do
could go
hope we
with.
get a lot of reference to what happened in Falcon and Winter Soldier, just because those are the only two characters from that show that are reunited. Everyone else has been in their own separate projects. Obviously we know the new Black Widow and her dad. They had that connection, but I want to get more of those two. I felt like they were pretty. They had a good back and forth in the show, so I really hope they
Hmm.
continue having that back and forth in the movie.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you expect to see anyone from anything else?
If they don't kill off Red Hulk, uh, Ross, I have a feeling we might get. I know it's asking a lot for having Harrison Ford in two big MCU movies back to back, and he's probably cost a lot of money. It wouldn't make sense because this is a government. This is like a government secret agency going on, and based on the trailers we got of Captain America 4, we do know that Theodore Ross is kind of want to re-jumpstart the Avengers initiative, with Anthony
Okay.
Mackie leading. I'm not sure if Thunderbolts will take place after Captain America or before Captain America in the MCU
Hmm.
timeline. But if it is after, I do want them to make some kind of reference on what happened, potentially making Bucky more worried about what's going on with his friend Falcon, Captain America. Maybe we might get Captain America at the end. It's either Captain America or Ross. I have a feeling one of those might make a cameo at the end of the movie.
So the one character I want to see, and that's just because they had such a good chemistry in Hawkeye, was Florence Pugh's character and
Hmm. How about Kate
the
Bishop?
yeah, Kate Bishop.
Yeah.
I would really like to see Kate Bishop in this,
Issue is
even
yeah,
if it's a cameo.
you never seen the Marvels, have you?
No, I
Miss
haven't seen that.
Okay, have you seen Miss Marvel?
No, I haven't seen that.
Oh my God, that show was really good. The Marvels,
Okay,
it was okay. I think the end credit scenes were probably the highlight of the movie.
okay.
The action scenes in the Marvels was great, but it was kind of a lackluster movie overall. But at the end of that movie, we see Kamala Khan's character, Miss Marvel. We see her with the tablet with some other known superheroes, and she meets up with Kate Bishop. and saying that we should do our own thing type of thing, like create our own team, hinting at the Young
Mm.
Avengers. So I feel like Haley Steinfeld and Kate Bishop, she might end up leading the Young Avengers because she's going to be the oldest one. Because by the time that thing comes out, they'll all be 30 years old. But I think she's going to be kind of kind of separate from the
I
Thunderbolts because
see. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
I'm not sure. Do you know anything about like all the different Avengers or like the different groups within the Marvel comics? Like we have Fantastic Four, you have the X-Men, you have the Brotherhood of Mutants, and all
Yeah,
that.
do I know some of them? Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
all of them.
Do you know what the Dark Avengers is?
Yeah, that's like a alternate timeline, right?
No, it's from my
No?
understanding, and I don't know much about it either, but my understanding, it's kind of like a Suicide Squad, like a bunch of villains who are
Okay, I
being
see.
forced into like an Avengers, but they're more dark. They don't really have like that sanctity of life that the Avengers do, and they kind of will do their own thing to get whatever they need to
Okay,
get done. And this movie has an asterisk, Thunderbolts asterisk, and in this
I see.
trailer, I think it was Bucky who said like something about we're the Thunderbolts. No, I think it was Red Guardian said something about like we're the Thunderbolts, and he's like, and Bucky's like, we're not using that name, and then US Agents like, thank God, like making fun of how bad the name is. And with the asterisk, I have a feeling the movie's going to end with it saying Dark Avengers, and this is
I
leading into a whole
see.
new series of Dark Avengers movies building up
Okay.
on these characters. So I think she and this team up with some alternating characters throughout the movies, kind of like Suicide Squad, might
Mhm.
do their own separate projects, the Dark Avengers projects, while we have the Young Avengers, and then the main Avengers group line, who's probably going to be swept into the Secret War storylines coming up soon. The Avengers big movie coming out.
Yeah, no, that's actually a really good catch. I think
Because
that
what?
actually. Sorry, go ahead.
No, continue.
I was just gonna say, I think that leads us on to the second movie that
Yeah,
was
this
slated.
is yeah. Captain America comes out what next week? This week?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna say, and I'm hyped for this movie. Come on, we get the Red Hulk, we get Anthony Mackie's first grand screen role as Captain America. There's a lot that I want to happen in this movie, and I want Anthony Mackie to get a big win in this movie to show all the naysayers who said that he can't be captain or they should give to Bucky or whatever. I want him to prove all the haters wrong. Issue is, we've gotten way too many teasers, TV spots, and I
Hmm.
feel like I can piece together the movie vaguely. And in my opinion, that's never a good thing. If
Yes.
it's kind of like, hey, we know the movie's not that good, so we're going to give you all the best highlight scenes with all the Red Hulk scenes because apparently Red Hulk's only going to be in it for like 15 minutes, like 10 to 15 minutes at the end of the movie. So I mean, we already we know he destroys the White House. We know he attacks Bucky and the New Falcon. Not Bucky, I apologize. Captain America, the New Falcon, his friend, in the Cherry Blossom Street and all that. And I'm like, if that's gonna be the end of the movie, we kind of know how the movie ends then.
Right. Um, I'm always very apprehensive on looking at trailers for that
Hmm.
same reason. I think it puts together too much. And
And
yeah, it
that's the
really
only
does feel that they're really trying to sell the movie, and that's always not a good indication.
no, no. Now, fun fact though, do you know who Giancarlo Esposito is playing?
Yeah, he's playing like the villain, right? Like part of the
Yeah,
villainous
he's the
group.
leader of the Serpent Society, which in the comics is like serpent style villains who have like serpent abilities, weird metahuman type stuff. But based on what I can tell here, it's more turned down. He's just in charge of like a kind of like a mafia group, like a terrorist organization called the Serpent Society.
Hmm.
But apparently, he said that he's confirmed to be returning to other MCU projects. So maybe Marvel has learned to stop killing off your villains because that's an issue they've had. A lot of great villains like Michael B. Jordan's Killmonger. He would have been fantastic in a Thunderbolts film or like a Dark Avengers film. Like I kind of hope he doesn't die, and I kind of hope he plays into a more leading villain role, kind of like Wilson Fisk or kind of like Norman Osborn or like of the likes of that.
Right.
Because that's one thing we don't have yet. We've had Thanos and all that. We somewhat had Kang the Conqueror, yet he left pretty quickly. He didn't conquer much, but we don't have a big street gang like villain. We do have Wilson Fisk in the Daredevil projects that's making a return in the Daredevil Born Again show. But imagine like a Norman Osborn or like a maybe whatever the leader of the Serpent Society is, like creating their own team of anti-humans or not anti-humans, anti heroes or like villains to lead against the Avengers or something.
Yeah, so this phase could be the phase of villains for Marvel. I mean, we could have Giancarlo Esposito, who we know is such a great actor. The way he
Yeah,
portrayed Gus in Breaking Bad, oh my god, just phenomenal.
yeah,
And then we also have Kingpin, who I know Echo is not going to be his last showing, but even that few minutes we got of him in Echo was
yeah.
still very
I
impressive.
mean, Vincent D'Onofrio is such a fantastic
Yeah.
actor, and you haven't seen the Daredevil Netflix shows, have you?
No.
Okay. I watched them a long time ago. I can't remember everything that happened. It's been so long since they've been on Netflix, but actually rewatching season three to get ready for Born Again, and holy shit, he is menacing. He is just anytime you see him on screen, you're captivated. You're like, what is he gonna do? What is he gonna say? And the show is very dialogue heavy.
Right.
There's a lot of action, but majority of it is two people discussing who they are and why they're doing what they're doing, and he kills it every time he's on screen. So I really
Yeah.
hope because he's running for mayor. That's how Echo ended. Is him one for mayor. I really hope he wins in Daredevil, or he already is confirmed as mayor. Because like I
Mhm.
said, I want to see that big overarching villain who can now control a lot of schemes that goes on with a bunch of these guys' lives. Because if he's going to be the mayor of New York City, you have Spider-Man, you have um obviously Daredevil and the Defenders, so Iron Fist, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones. Who else is right now New York based that we can think of? There's a couple of New York based heroes, right?
Yeah, I'm not
I mean, Bucky's from New
sure.
York, alongside with Captain America, his friend Steve Rogers, so he might have some kind of like issue what's going on there too. So like, I want Giancarlo Esposito to play like that villain that
Sort
leads into
of
like four,
villain.
five, six
Right.
movies. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then maybe
No,
he
I
could have some
definitely see that.
scenes with Fisk. Like it'd be so cool to have him and Fisk like working together, yet against each other, like 4D chess. Like we'll use you, but we don't like you type thing. It's there's so much you could do with it, and I want them to do something with that.
I definitely agree. And yeah, a lot of the phases Marvel hasn't landed their villains, which
Mm-mm.
has sucked. But I can see maybe are turning to a better villain slate
I hope
in this
so.
coming phase.
I mean, you know who else is returning to this movie, right? Who has not been seen since Incredible Hulk?
No, who?
The leader, Samuel Stern, played by Tim Blake Nelson. He's returning back. He's in the comics. He's like a big head. He's like a super scientist, whatever. Who has like an he just can't stand the Hulk. Whatever the comics is his issue with the Hulk and all that. But he's called the leader because he's like a mastermind villain.
Okay.
So we're gonna have like multiple villains in this movie. We have obviously the leader, the Serpent Society. We will have the leader making his first reappearance since the Incredible Hulk, and we have Red Hulk.
Yeah, there are a lot of references to Hulk. Will we
Are we going
actually
to get
get the
Mark
Hulk?
Ruffalo in this movie? That's what I'm saying. Are we going to get Mark Ruffalo? Is that what they're hiding? Like they're teasing us with all this other stuff. Is that going to be the big shock when we watch the movie? Is Mark Ruffalo is playing like co lead with Anthony Mackie or something? Cause
So yeah, maybe Marvel did learn, and they're not showing all their cards because I know Thor Ragnarok they kind of showed the Hulk, and it kind of cheapened it when we actually saw it in the movie.
but then again, the
So
Hulk did play like a big role in Ragnarok. Maybe he won't play a big role in this movie, but
mhm.
he'll be like a last minute cameo, last minute like addition to like the final fight or something.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. But all I'm saying is sometimes hiding certain fun things is always more rewarding when you go watch
Exactly.
the movie.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, if they were very confident on this movie, I have a feeling they would never have showed Red Hulk. They would have teased it in the trailers, but they would never have showed how he looks because that's a money shot right there. You don't want to like
Right.
reveal the big Red Hulk breaking through the White House. Like, that's something you want to see in the big screen, not in a trailer. And the fact that they showed that in a trailer is why I'm like, it's either something big is like being hidden off screen, or they just don't have anything to show us.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Now, talking about another group of Marvel,
there's a lot of Marvel news.
it's Fantastic Four. Now, I don't. We
Yes.
didn't really get a trailer during the Super Bowl for it, but we did get like a teaser prior to that.
Yeah.
What'd you feel about it?
I loved it. Okay, let me rephrase that. I loved 80% of it. I
Yeah.
don't like the things CGI. And I know it's a teaser. Things can definitely change once the movie comes out.
So yeah, I agree. The way they depicted the thing definitely
Hmm.
caught me off guard. And I felt like his voice definitely should have been more gruff and rough.
Yeah.
But maybe they're just going for a totally different vibe, which is totally cool. I can't wait for it. I love Pedro Pascal,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm a big fan of his. So
And I
I'm gonna
gotta
have fun.
say, I do love how it had its humor with the thing with the garlic talking to their little robot friend Herbie, but it had a lot of heart, a lot of like emotional beats to it that you could see. Like, even though he has a smile on his face, but he sees in the TV how he used to look, and you can see he's broken up and how he looks still. You can see that Reed Richards doesn't want to continue doing space research because like the last time we went to space, this stuff happened to us, and it seems like it's gonna be like an emotional roller coaster, which I'm kind of in for because I mean we have a comic book accurate Galactus, and Galactus eats planets, and he eats like yeah galaxies. So we know this universe is a different universe from the main MCU storyline. So maybe their universe is going to get eaten by Galactus, and they somehow escape into a different universe, bringing them into the MCU.
That
Which
would be crazy.
yeah, because I mean, Galactus eats planets. Might as well have him destroy their planet and have them stranded and having to find a new home, and that would be badass.
That would be badass. And we might not get it in this movie, but I really hope we get the Silver Surfer done right on the big screen. He's
You don't
one
want to
of my
see the
most.
surface who sims for Invincible Woman from the second movie. So
I
weird.
mean, who wouldn't though?
Vanessa Kirby,
Anyways,
but yeah.
um, Silver Surfer is one of my most favorite characters
Oh
in
really?
Fantastic Four. Yes, the complexity of him and just the turmoil that he goes through because he's the messenger and he has to call Galactus and just that whole dynamic. I really, really like it.
I'll be honest. I don't know much about the Fantastic Four storylines. I've read a couple of them, but I don't know much about like Galactus or Silver Surfer or like their origins or anything like that. So I'm very interested to see if they'll
Yeah,
dive into that in this movie. But it looks great. I gotta say, I'm glad seeing the Marvel's first family all in action, live action, and we know they're going to eventually join the MCU. It's kind of exciting. It's kind of like how I feel about when we're going to get the X-Men eventually come in. It's just gonna feel, it's gonna feel kind of right. It's gonna feel like everything is coming together finally with the MCU and all the Marvel projects and all that. So I'm
yeah,
excited.
me too. So,
Um, I mean, there was much more from Fantastic Four besides we saw the
nah.
shot of Galactus, we see the family in action, but outside of that, we didn't get to see though Mr. Invincible. We didn't get to see him, not Invincible, sorry, Mr. Fantastic. We didn't see him stretch his arms. So I'm really like pretty stretchy. So I'm kind of curious on how they're gonna do that
Okay,
because
so
they seem to be hiding that or like saving that for the film, from what I could
in
tell.
my opinion, it's a really dumb looking thing. Whenever it's being done on
Yeah,
TV, it really looks very dumb.
which is why I'm hesitant. Like that's why I'm like I want to see it how to do it because that's the only thing. Like every time it's been done live action, it looks cheesy as
Yeah.
hell.
But I think that's the thing of Reed Richard. That's not his superpower.
It's his
He
brain.
can use it when he needs it, but yeah, it's his freaking brain. He's such a genius.
I mean,
So I
there's
guess
that
that's
one
why it's like for
shot.
me, it's like Reed Richards. I really like him as Reed Richards, but his power is just so dumb.
I mean, there was that one shot where he's like in front of like a chalkboard or like a whiteboard, and he has like a bunch of doodles all around him. I have a
Yeah,
feeling in the movie he's gonna stretch his arm and do some calculation at one side. And
yeah,
it's probably that. I have a feeling they're gonna go with that route. Which I'm down for it. Why
probably.
not? Let's have fun with the powers. Let's show it
Or
off.
during the whole movie, they kind of tease it but never do it.
And then at the end of the movie, we should call ourselves something fantastical. Oh yeah, how about fantastic? Oh, there's four of us. And then you see Fan First Stick. That's how they ended it.
Oh God.
It was so bad because they get like a new grounds for like experimentation and all that, like a laboratory, beautiful area, and they're like, "Oh, we should name
Such a
ourselves."
bad movie.
It was one of the worst movies I ever saw.
It
Like,
started off pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
oh yeah, the
It
first 30
actually started off
minutes.
really
Yeah,
nice, and it just went downhill so
I think
fast.
once they did the time jump, like, oh, now they had the
Yeah.
powers for like 10 months now, and they were under like military control. We didn't get to see them learn their powers or like explore them as a team. They just immediately became a team like off screen.
Anyways, talking
Yeah,
about exciting reboots, sort of.
again.
Jurassic World Rebirth. Sorry, not a reboot, a rebirth. So I take it you weren't a big fan of the last two Jurassic Worlds?
I love Jurassic World 1. I'll
Okay.
admit it's not a good movie, but I
I
enjoyed the hell
loved
out of
it.
it.
It was
Yeah, it
so
was
fun.
fun. It was a great. It brought me back to my childhood. It was a good reintroduction to the Jurassic Park franchise.
I thought Chris Pratt
Yeah,
knocked it out of the park.
but then there was Jurassic World 2. And because of
Yeah.
that movie, I have never seen Jurassic World 3, which I've heard was even worse than 2.
I, see, I actually didn't mind three.
Oh,
Three
really?
was when all the old characters come
Hmm.
back. So it's a lot of nostalgia bait.
Yeah.
If you're like me, you'll enjoy it just because I like the nostalgia bait. And there's semi decent story. It's overall I thought it was a fun story.
I think my
One time
biggest.
watch,
Yeah.
not more than that.
I think my biggest issue with Jurassic World 2 is they kept teasing in the trailers. I remember this Jeff Goldblum was in the trailers and they were teasing like, oh, Ian Malcolm is coming back to the franchise and he was only in for like a 3 minute scene where he's doing like a hearing at like a some kind of conference or something and I'm just like it pissed me off. And then they did like this whole mutant child thing that she has a
A
dinosaur
clone.
DNA, a clone. I was like,
Not dinosaur DNA.
oh no.
They used the cloning technology to
Okay.
clone the daughter that died.
Yeah.
Um,
But that which
it wasn't the
benefactor
worst thing ever. I mean, look, they took
but
DNA from
her
amber
no
of a mosquito. I
no
mean, if we're doing
what
that, we can do
what
this.
was idiotic was she's like we should give all the dinosaurs a way to live. We should release them into the real world.
Yeah, that was dumb. She was a child.
But the adults listen to her. The scientists were like, yeah, I mean, you make a great point. We shouldn't let these guys just die, or we shouldn't just pull the trigger on all of them. We should let them into the real world and kill billions of people. Let's do it. Huh? Like, I understand you want to like don't let anything go extinct. You're like scientists, but you got to think logical. You're letting these 20-ton walking, eating, angry reptilians that should have been extinct roaming Earth. No, that's a dumb idea. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Put them
no,
back inside of cages.
I totally agree with you. Scientists would never mistakenly or not mistakenly release something into the world.
Yeah, never, never, not
Never.
once.
No. 2020? What? What?
What was that?
What?
No, but it just a lot of the issues that happen in that movie look dumb. But I will be honest, this looks good.
It does. It really does.
I mean, first off, Scarlett Johansson, yeah.
And then we get an actor who should have come out with another movie by now.
Oh,
But
it was
as Wesley Snipes said, there's only ever going to be one Blade.
such a fucked up dig, and I loved it. You do realize that I think like as of like last year, Blade is supposed to be coming out in October, but then like back in November they're like, oh, by the way, it's nothing's coming out in October anymore. I'm just like, oh, because y'all haven't
I
filmed
wonder
nothing
why.
yet. Because y'all haven't found a director yet. But apparently, going back to Blade, I think read that Marshall Ali, he's actually in charge of like he's so invested in this. That's why there's been so many issues. Is he wants it to be perfect and he doesn't want any
Okay.
corners cut.
Yeah.
But
I can respect that.
there's gonna be a time and place after so many yes and no's from Marvel and Disney. I have
Yeah.
really hinged my walk and say after I'm done. Kind of like what happened with Ben Affleck, because he wanted to direct his own big Batman movie, but then after so many pushbacks, and then Batman v Superman didn't make much money, and all of these issues, he
Mm.
kind of just walked from it. He said,
With the
"F it,
way
I'm
he
done."
portrayed it, I actually think it would have been a
It
really
would have been,
nice Batman.
and he's a good director. I mean, he's done a couple of great movies
Yeah.
of his own. So I
Yeah.
mean, it would have been great, and he probably would have had his friend Matt Damon play Robin.
The oldest Robin ever.
No, I can't. I can't. You just know, anytime Ben Affleck directs something,
Yeah, I
his
know.
best friend is always somewhere,
He
somewhere
probably would have
hidden.
been Commissioner Gordon or something.
Well, Gordon was only in that movie in
Yeah,
Batman
they
v
were like,
Superman.
yeah, it's fine.
Eh, who knows? That's not ever gonna happen,
Yeah, no,
unfortunately.
I know.
But no, I mean, this movie looks good. I'll be
It
honest. It
does.
it does look good, but apparently and this is from the Vanity Fair article that came out I think last week or 2 weeks ago. But apparently the original draft of this movie nobody survived. But they did promise there'll be a lot of unexpected deaths and a lot of unexpected twists and turns in this movie.
Holy shit.
I feel like they're going to Rogue One, and you know who directed this movie, right?
Is it the guy who did Rogue One?
I think so. I think
Oh,
it's the guy who did Rogue One. Let me
dude,
before
we're
I say
we're
something.
gonna get a badass scene of the T-Rex just going like ham at
Yes,
the end.
it's Gareth Edwards. Yeah, Gareth Edwards. He did Rogue
Okay.
One. He did the first Godzilla movie, and he did yeah, and he's doing this movie as well. So
Awesome.
he
I
and
can't wait.
he used I mean even though I don't like the monster universe all that much, Godzilla, the one that came out with Aaron Taylor Johnson and Bryan Cranston, the first
Yeah,
that was a really good movie, and the
it
cinematography
was.
was beautiful.
Very nice.
And he did
Very
say he's
nice.
going
With the
more like
budget they had,
yeah, it was a pretty low
I was
budget.
blown away.
Yeah. Like the shots when they were like skydiving into the
Oh my god.
city with the red
Yeah.
flares. I'm like, oh, it's such a beautiful movie. But yeah, I have a feeling he's going to cook because he's a lot of money this time, a big franchise, and he said he's going more horror. Like it's going to be more intense. And
I can't wait.
yeah, he wants to. He said he wants to bring fear back into the name of dinosaurs in Jurassic Park. And I'm like,
Damn.
hey, Garrett Edwards, hey man, if they're gonna let you cook, I hope it works. I can't wait. But
Yeah.
if they do, then nobody dies again, kind of like say they with Rogue One. That would be, especially in a Jurassic Park movie that's never been done before.
Oh man.
That-
I
I
seriously
hope
can't
it's good.
wait.
I hope it's good.
Yeah.
If it's not good, I will be pretty pissed. Now I know I mentioned earlier in this podcast here about Superman, and
Mm.
did you see the teaser that James Gunn released on Super Bowl, teasing and trolling the audience?
I actually didn't watch that. I must have missed it.
Yeah, he put it on Twitter, and I'm gonna send it to you. I want to get your your first take. I want to see what you think about this because I'm not gonna say nothing. I want to see what you say.
It's opening now.
Yeah, and especially
Oh,
after
Nathan
everyone,
Fillion.
yeah,
Oh no.
and especially
Apparently this is
since
comic book accurate
it
though.
is, it's Guy
So
Gardner who is supposed to be like over
yeah.
the top, and he's supposed to be like just obnoxious, egotistic, from what I understand. But I mean, for the casual audience who is hyped up for a new Superman movie, and this is the teaser that you give them during the Super Bowl.
Look, I'm gonna say one thing about James Gunn. He loves his comic books.
Oh, he does.
And he's gonna pay homage to everything he can. but he will make a movie that is commercially viable.
No,
And
100%. But my biggest thing is, there's just already a lot of people saying, "Oh, it's too cheesy looking. The comics, the suit is too bright." I think it looks great, but there's people already saying that, and
yeah, people
you
said
want
that
to
about
win them
Guardians of the
over.
Galaxy. Now I know Marvel was
Yeah,
on a roll when it came out, so there was a lot of good credit already built up. For me, Gunn has already gotten so much good credit, and I think for a lot of moviegoers, I think
yeah.
it'll be fine. Word of mouth, as long as it's
Oh
good,
yeah.
word of mouth will push this
Yeah,
movie.
I definitely is going to have a lot of legs, but it's also releasing in between Jurassic World Rebirth and Fantastic Four. I think Jurassic Park comes out like July 2nd, and then
Okay.
Superman is like July 11th, and then I think Fantastic Four is like July 20 something.
Okay, so
So,
I'm gonna go bankrupt in
oh, July
July.
is going to be a bad month for me, yeah. But I just feel like if you're going to capitalize on the fact that no other besides Thunderbolts had a trailer, that would have been a perfect time to actually release a more longer take, a longer trailer, or
Mm.
a special look versus Guy Gardner with his belt cut dancing on screen, making million. It's just I don't know. I thought because he was hyping
I
up,
see
like,
what you
oh
mean.
yeah, he was
Yeah.
kind of like hyping up, like, oh, I can't wait for the Super Bowl, or like, we're gonna show you a little more, and that's what we saw, and I was
Just a
like,
troll. He's just a
he's a
troll.
troll. He is, and that's what I love about James Gunn. But I think maybe I was expecting more. I said this in the beginning. I
Yeah.
was expecting a lot of teasers and movie trailers, but we didn't get much. But that's the only thing we got from Superman, so I really can't say anything because it's just a stupid fun clip that he
Yeah.
probably created in 5 minutes. So yeah. But
Yeah.
anything else that
I
you want to
think
talk
that's it
about
for the
though?
movies, though.
Yeah,
But
we have a
how
couple
about a
shows
few
that's
TV shows? Yeah.
yeah that are currently airing now. I know you mentioned Severance that you're watching right now, right?
Dude, okay. So people have been saying how good the show is. I'm like 5 episodes in, and this is one of the most bonkers shows I have
You're
seen.
5 episodes into season one or season two?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
season one. It is so good. If you haven't, because Apple is just the best at advertising their shows. But anyways, if you haven't seen Severance, definitely go watch it. This show takes sci-fi and thriller and drama and just like Adam Scott, right, from Parks and
Yep.
Rec.
Parks and Rec.
He is so good in this. And
It
there are a
does
lot of
seem
famous people in it that when you see it, I don't want to spoil anything. That's why it's like
okay.
when you see it, you're like, oh shit, I know that person kind of thing. And it's really good.
Because I know it's supposed to like the cinematography apparently is like outstanding, like one of the best like
It's
filmed.
so good.
Yeah,
It's
so
so good.
and you know
Dude,
me,
okay,
I'm a
if you
big
get a chance,
sucker.
go watch just the intro, like how the intro happens in the TV show. It's that thing just blew my mind as well. So
I did see like the opening shot for season two that was on Twitter by accident or X. I got kind of spoiled. I had no idea what's going on, but it was a
okay.
fantastic one shot take. I'm not going to spoil it because you're on episode five of season one.
Their one shots are really good.
And you know me, I'm a sucker for cinematography. I'm a sucker for the way the camera moves and all that. And
Yeah.
based on a little bit I've seen, it does seem like they've done a great job
Yeah.
for a TV
And this
show.
is created, I
Yeah.
think, by Ben Stiller, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh wow.
Dude, he
Wow.
knocks it out of the park.
Is he like a
That guy,
producer or is he like the writer?
writer,
Oh wow.
producer, yeah. So yeah, he
I'll
knocks it out of the
definitely
park.
I'll definitely give it a shot. It seems like something I would definitely be into. It's just Apple TV. I just don't have Apple TV. That's the issue.
I know
It's another streaming
it's
service you gotta
such
add
an
on.
obscure one. Yeah,
But based on word of mouth and based on things I've heard from other people, people are saying Apple TV kind of stole that spark that HBO once had.
they have some good shows, man. Ted
That's
Lasso.
yeah,
You're talking
like
about Monarch.
Monarch was
Now this
good.
Severance.
Yeah,
I
there's a
don't know,
couple of
dude.
other shows that
They're
I've heard from Apple TV that are big. So I'm like, maybe Apple TV's the move. Maybe cancel Netflix because let's be real, Netflix doesn't have much going on right now.
yeah,
I
Netflix,
mean,
man. I don't know. Nothing original that has captivated me. Okay, The Gentleman was really good on Netflix.
oh, I need to watch that still. That's on my list.
That's really good.
But like Netflix, I think ever
Night Agent, that was pretty good. Okay, I guess
and
I have a few good ones, but
I
if you
mean they
don't
just
watch them,
cancel
it's okay.
them. And they cancel
Yeah,
shows left and right. And that's the thing that's the issue I have with Netflix is I don't want to get invested in a show that 80% of the time will get canceled. Like
yeah, I
Chaos,
get that.
fantastic. But maybe I cancel Netflix and get Apple for a month or two and see if I can binge everything.
Dude, Severance is worth it.
I've
It's
always
so
said
good.
that I need to start a rotating streaming service. Like
It's such a smart
one
idea.
yeah. It's something that I need to
You
sit
have a
down and
set budget, and then you just
yeah.
transfer that every
Like
month.
okay, $50
Yeah.
a month. That means I can get Apple, Netflix, and Disney for one month. And the next month I'll get Amazon Prime and Hulu and HBO and
Thankfully,
then
Prime is already included, so
yeah,
don't even
yeah.
worry about that.
But I'm just saying, like, I can actually get Peacock or I can get
Yeah,
Paramount for a
yeah.
month and see what's on there. 'Cause I know there's a couple of shows that I were interested in watching.
Peacock has Twisted Metal, so good.
Yes, I've
Anthony
heard good
Mackie
things.
and Stephanie
Yes,
Beatrice, brilliant. Season 2 should be coming out soon. Talking about Amazon Prime though, Invincibles 3, the first 3 episodes dropped. I'm halfway through the latest season, episode 3. It's good. It's really good. It's setting up plot lines that I can't wait to see how it pans out.
Yeah, I'll be honest, and I think it's because of that split. I think if you watch our previous videos a year ago when we first started doing videos on YouTube, was Invincible was one of our first projects we tackled, and I think I mentioned it there. I think that break they had in between season 2.1 and season 2, like the part 2, part 1, whatever, it kind of turned me off in Invincible. I kind of forgot what was going on. I kind of tuned out with that universe, so it was like the second half I wasn't as enjoyed. Like I wasn't like all invested in. But this season 3 just grabs you and immediately just takes off running. And Cecil, in my personal opinion, Walton Goggin once again on Amazon, killing it on Amazon show. Um, he might be my favorite character of the show.
After episode 2, yeah, Cecil is my number one character.
He is like, you understand his point of view now because what happened in episode 2. He's not a good guy. He's not a bad guy. He's the guy who's going to do what needs to get done.
And I really like the way they did episode 2. I'm not trying to give too much away, but the civil war that happens in that episode, the factions that are created,
yes,
it makes sense.
Oh, it does.
Like, none of the characters act completely out of character. It makes sense, and I really can't wait to see how this plays out.
The only thing I will say, and I cannot remember what's his name in the what is her name, but who's that one girl who
Duplicate?
not duplicate, the other one who was apparently was almost dead, but they brought her back to life.
Oh right, I'm drawing a blank on her name. She was introduced last season, I believe. Yeah.
I don't remember who she was. That was like a new character. I was like, wait, who is she? She's like, yeah, and I almost died for you. I was like, did you? Do I know you? But apparently I do. So
Yeah, she was introduced last season, but she wasn't that
Shrinking
memorable.
Ray. Yeah.
Yeah,
She's like the Ant-Man,
pretty
I
cool
guess, or
ability.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that's my issue with this show versus like the show like The Boys. Whenever they have like a one-off superhero or like a side character superhero with like powers, somehow The Boys make them very memorable. With Invincible, I think because Invincible just has a vast cast, and you might not see a character for like 4 or 5 episodes down the line.
Yeah,
I
that's true.
do tend to forget some of the smaller characters until they get reintroduced. I think that's probably my biggest complaint with Invincible.
Yeah,
But
and
somehow they tie everything together at the end, always.
that was my biggest issue with the whole Amber plotline. It was taking away quality time from
Hmm.
characters that should be developed, and
And hey,
that's why
you
I was
got
like,
your wish. She's got
I
like
did.
3 minutes of screen time in 3 episodes.
See why I'm loving the season already.
Um, I will say though, what is his brother's name?
Oh, Oliver.
Mark's Oliver. Yeah, he's interesting character. Kid Omni. He's becoming a very interesting character. I can see where they're going to go with this character. I think I don't know anything about this character. I know you spoiled yourself a little bit on what happens in the comics. I don't,
Mhm.
but I have a feeling I know what's going to happen with that character, and I don't want that to happen. If they're
We
going the
will
way I
have to
think,
wait
yeah.
and see.
I was reading your face, hoping you'll give something away, but no.
Nah, unfortunately, I'm a
Yeah,
semi-decent poker player.
semi-decent. You do know who played Multipole? Duplicate's brother,
Who plays that? It sounds so familiar.
Simu Liu, Shang-Chi himself.
Oh no, that's hilarious.
And I'm like, that's like his voice sounded familiar, but I just couldn't connect it. So I had to Google search it at the end of the episode. I was like, who is this? But no, it's
And then
Simu
the
Liu.
time travelers who steal the Declaration of Independence. Like, what the
Yeah,
hell is that about?
what's going on with that plot line? That must come to
No
fruition because
idea.
it seems like they have like a time machine because they
Yeah, exactly, right?
vanished,
Okay, sorry,
right?
no. We shouldn't get into spoilers, but I
Yeah,
don't think it's that big of a spoiler.
unless it has. By the time I forget about that plot line, it might be brought up like season 5 again. But also, apparently, J.K. Simmons confirmed that he's in the voice booth again for season 4. So season 4 is already being
Ooh,
filmed or voiced, which is interesting because my understanding is they always do the animation first and then the voice, which means the animation for season 4 is done or
damn.
nearly done. If
Okay.
they're moving forward with voicing, and if that is, and I'm not sure, I might be wrong. Maybe they do voice and then animation. I'm not sure. I thought it was always animating then voice. I might be mistaken, but that
They
means
use
we might
that
get,
dot technology nowadays, so I wonder if they do
yeah,
the
maybe.
voice at first. I don't know.
I don't know. But I'm actually very interested. They're already doing season 4. They're already getting that filmed or prepped and all that. Are we getting it at the end of this year, or are we going to get beginning of next year like we do with this season?
Oh man, That's a good question.
Because
I'm
one
not
thing
sure.
I had an issue with was season one and season two. There's like a 2.5 year gap, but season two
Yeah.
to now there's like a 11-month gap. So I'm like, good. They're pumping these out pretty quickly now. I'm
Especially
like,
the way season one ended.
yeah, they ended it, and we had to wait like 2 years to get some kind of conclusion. I'm like, what happened? I forgot what happened, but yeah,
Yeah, no, for sure.
yeah, it's getting good.
J.K. Simmons playing Omni-Man and Alan the Alien. I really can't wait to see more of that duo.
Oh, 100%. Also, I gotta say, whatever they're doing with Alien in up in space, I want to know where that's going to go. Like, where is that going to go? Because he's trying to convince Omni-Man to break out of prison. We know Alan can break out, but like, what is his purpose on trying to convince Omni-Man? Because he has his own, like, he knows that there's a whole other group that are fighting Viltrumites, that's being led by that one Viltrumite guy. I
Mhm.
wonder what their ultimate plan is, those guys, because I don't trust them. The Space Council people, I don't trust them, and they work with Alan. There's a lot of stuff that I want to get more information on, because we've gotten little to nothing about that guy, the leader of the council.
Yeah.
So I want them to break out already, so we can get that plot moving forward.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. I think there is so many grand scale things, but
Yeah,
they're focusing so much on the small city stuff right now. So
which
it
is
kind of
fine.
feels a bit frustrating because we're not getting the big stuff, but I do think they'll pay it off pretty well.
And I am liking that Mark finally manned up and asked Homegirl out. I'm like, dude, you should have done this
Adam
like
Eve.
3 seasons ago, Adam
Yeah,
Eve. But
for sure.
she's
Yeah.
she's always been a character that I like, but that I wish we had more screen time or like more time with. So we're getting a
Hmm.
lot more time now
Yeah,
from this
for
season.
sure.
So, but overall, Invincible season three, only 3 episodes in so far. Fantastic. I think
Episode
every Thursday.
three began with this like montage of these two criminals, and I
That
thought
was
that was one of
sad.
the best intros to a TV show I've seen in a really
And
long
there was
time.
no there was no
Yeah,
voiceover. It was all done by just music and the animation. And
it was
those two
so
criminals,
good.
who loved each other, but they just couldn't get a job, and they had anger
You really
problems, and
empathized with them, and
they
that
were
they
just
did such a good
struggling.
job. Just like
And
5 minutes, and like you love these characters.
and then you have freaking Invincible just like coming out there beating them up, and you're like, no, like listen, like I found like, but obviously, yeah, it's so well done.
But I thought it played from episode two really well because of the alliances and the way they think,
Hmm. Hmm.
and I thought it played on really well into episode three.
It did.
So yeah. Anyways,
That
if
was
you
a
haven't seen
great
it,
cold
go watch
open. Yeah.
it.
Another show now. I know you have not seen this, but Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. I know I ragged on
Hmm.
the show previously. I said the animation looks like shit. It does. It still does. It's a good show.
Okay. What's the best part?
Uh, so there's this. So it's based on his freshman year of high school. Um, and there's this character who's the quarterback of the football team, but he's also someone who's willing to learn and willing to struggle in school. He's wanting to succeed in school as a backup plan in case football doesn't work. Like he's very
Right.
intelligent,
Yeah.
very humble. He comes from a poor family in Harlem, um, and his name is Lonnie Lincoln. And he becomes the villain Tombstone. I'm not sure you know who Tombstone is.
I don't know.
He's the albino supervillain, Spider-Man villain. But right now he is close friends with Peter Parker. He respects Peter intelligence, and they're decently friends. He's dating, and this shows Peter Parker's the girl that Peter Parker wants to date. He's dating her, so there's always some kind of animosity between the two. But Lincoln is such a nice guy, bringing Peter into the fold, so like and celebrating the wins with him, encouraging him to go to his internship and just working with them. But he gets unfortunately wrapped up in some gang stuff.
Damn. Okay.
Because of his brother, because they are a
I
poor family
see.
and his brother is trying to, I guess, scrap some money together. So he takes his brother's place to save his brother from a life of crime. So he's slowly getting into his tombstone persona. And it's so heartbreaking because he's such and I know I spoiled a lot, but I spoiled nothing to what's going on in the show because there's so much going on in the show. He's just
Damn.
one
Okay.
side character of the show, but he's my favorite part. Yeah.
Okay. Damn. That's a good sell.
They wrote him so damn well. And Coleman Domingo plays Norman Osborn. And holy shit. I know. So Coleman Domingo, I'm not sure. Do you know who he is?
Don't think I do.
Okay. Um, he's pretty strong actor. I've seen a few things. You know him if you see a picture of him. Definitely do. But he's also said that he would be interested in reprising his character or bringing like his version of Norman into the MCU.
Okay.
Obviously, different universe and all that. He's just voice acting him, but he is a good actor on his own part. This is my first time seeing him voice act. I'm down. If he wants to play Norman Osborn, bring it on, because
Nice.
he's playing the Tony Stark part of Peter Parker's journey from Homecoming.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, there's an internship. We want you part of this internship. Peter Parker joins Oscorp as an intern, very similar to how Peter joins Stark Industries as an intern, basically as Spider-Man. But
I see.
without spoiling
Okay.
anything, yeah. And they do this cool montage scene when Peter, and this is all within the first episode, when Peter's like heading home to Aunt May and all that, and he drops his backpack off. He's running up the stairs to the apartment, whatever, and it's shot exactly the same way with Homecoming when Peter Parker is, no, in Civil War, when Peter Parker is getting back to the apartment and he sees Stark talking to Aunt May. It's the exact same way, but instead of Tony Stark, it's Norman Osborn, and you're like,
That's
oh, this
interesting.
is this is going to be interesting, and they play that so well, and they play with that duality. Like you know how Peter's story kind of plays out in the MCU, and it's very similar to how it is playing out in the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, but you know the domino effect. One thing changes, everything changes.
Everything changes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Damn. Okay. That sounds really interesting, and
yeah,
you sold it really well. I think I'll give it a
yeah.
shot.
And there's a couple of characters that you would not expect to make appearance in this show.
Okay.
Marvel characters that you'll be like, wait, the fuck? Okay. I know we haven't seen him yet. I will spoil this because we haven't even seen him in the show yet. We know he's coming, but Charlie Cox's Daredevil, as a whole different universe's Daredevil, apparently he's in this too, and that's something that us fans of Spider-Man and Daredevil has been crying for. Is Spider-Man and Daredevil has a lot of like team ups in the comics, and we're actually getting in this friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. That means, come on, Spider-Man 4, please give that to me. Or like even Daredevil Born Again, if they have Spider-Man in the background just for, like one episode, holy shit! Imagine how amazing that would be. Having like Tom Holland swing around and help a Daredevil for like 5 minutes, and then just like sees him just walks away, like or just has like a dialogue. It's like, hey, we can't be
Yeah.
killing people now. Like, come on,
No,
Marvel, Disney, y'all
that'd be
have that
awesome.
money. Y'all can pay Tom Holland for like a 5 minute cameo, or you can pay because we already had Charlie Cox and No Way Home as the lawyer for
We
like a
did.
2 minute
Yeah.
scene. So
Yeah.
they know the fans want that. They're teasing us with
Yeah.
it. Give it to us. Come on, dude. But anything else
That would
that
be pretty
you?
awesome.
Yeah. But anything else though? I know Cobra Kai is ending on Thursday. Have you caught
Yeah.
up, or how
No,
far
I
are you?
haven't. No.
No, no.
No. I'm too far. I have no idea where I
Yeah,
am.
no. I just caught up actually today. With all the episodes we've gotten so far. It's a fun show, cheesy, but it's
Okay.
overstayed its welcome. I'm ready for it to end. I feel like
That's good.
there's only so much drama these high school kids can go through, and that
I
we
know.
as audience can just watch. We're like, oh my gosh, all
It's
right.
like, get over it, lads.
Like, I mean, I highly doubt you'll ever catch up, to be honest, because there's so like I think you're like 3 seasons behind last time we talked or something.
Maybe two, three. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know
but
anymore.
they're in this international world recognized
Ooh,
karate competition right
fancy.
now, and the episode where the break ends, waiting for the next half of the season to come out, ends with this big ass brawl that's being filmed on TV, and I'm just like, there's no security guards breaking the brawl. Like you have like 18 like teams just, like fighting, punching, and I'm just like,
Jeez.
even the coaches like Danny and Johnny are involved. Other coaches are involved. I'm just like,
Oh my gosh.
and this is like a world-renowned boxing tournament or karate tournament, a Sekai Taikai, and this camera is filming live audience broadcasting. They didn't cut the live feed until someone died. Yeah, someone dies in the brawl. Then they're like, "Oh,
Jeez.
we didn't cut the live feed." I'm like, "So you aired all
Why
of
did you do that
this?"
earlier?
And it was like a 15-minute brawl. It was well shot. It was an intense
Okay.
brawl. But I'm just like, there's a lot of issues with this. Like,
Yeah.
this shit should have been shut down within the first punch. Like, security guards would have been jumping on there, pulling people apart, like
Yeah.
immediately. No, there's no guards whatsoever. I guess they like, hey, these
Yeah.
guys are karate people. We don't want to get involved with these guys.
That's a safe bet. I
Yeah.
wouldn't.
No, I mean we saw what happened in the school brawl when they like punched some teachers, and the teacher's like,
Oh
"Nah,
my
I ain't gonna pay
god.
enough for this shit." They walked
Yeah.
away.
Don't
It's a
blame
fun
them.
show. It's a cheesy, fun
Yeah.
show, but I'm kind of ready for it to end.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, nothing else.
yeah, no,
Mm,
but like we said earlier, congratulations to the Eagles, man. Well deserved win, but
yeah, they suck. Anyways,
the Eagles suck, or
yeah,
they won the Super Bowl.
yeah. I didn't want anyone to win. I was
Uh,
hoping both teams would lose, but that's just not possible.
I feel like America lost with this due to the two teams that actually made it. No, no diss on Jalen Hurts or Patrick Mahomes or both, teams itself, but We had the Eagles in 2018, 2019. They lost, and they had the redemption this year. We had the Chiefs last 5 years back in like they won two in a row. I'm just like, can we get like some teams that no one ever heard of? Like imagine like not heard of, but like imagine like two obscure teams like the
Cleveland
Cowboys.
Browns. That's a good one. I like that. Look, man,
Oh man. Oh man,
that
yeah.
team has, let's say, a few issues.
Um, them or the Mavs?
Look, man,
I had to.
you
I
know,
had to.
you know how big of a Mavs fan I was.
Was keyword highlight that
Was
bolded,
yeah.
yeah.
The way they treated Luca, nah, man,
Nasty.
I
That was
can't
that
do
was
that.
wrong. No, that was everybody.
Can't do
I don't
that.
care what team you're from. Everybody knows that's a bad trade.
Yep,
You know,
can't do
so
that.
fun fact before we log off here about that trade. People tried to make that trade on 2K, and it was denied.
Yeah, no shit, right?
The trade. So what it says here is, um, Luca is someone we consider untouchable. The only way I accept a trade for them is if I'm blown away, and this one does not do it. That's what the blurb is when you click trade with Anthony Davis and Luca, and yeah, it's
Yeah,
funny. If 2K won't allow you to do that, why not? I feel like every
look,
GM should just plug into 2K. If it doesn't go in 2K, don't even offer that trade.
yeah. So I watch sports, and I've been a big sports fan for a while. And one thing about sports is winning is nice, and ultimately, I think every team should try and win the championship. But not every team can win the championship. But what you can do is create a fun environment that people want to be a part of. Luca did that. Even though the Mavs
And,
might not have won a championship, I didn't care. I loved watching him play because he
and
was so
let's be real
fun.
though, without him, they would not have made it as far as they did last year.
Yeah,
Let's
I
be
agree.
real. You can say, "Oh, we need a good defense," and that's their argument. We need a good defense or a good blocker.
Oh,
But
that's
like,
bullshit. Yeah.
do you want someone who's going to block maybe 20, like 10 to 15 points a game, or someone's going to score on average 30 points a game?
Yeah, man.
Math don't math to me, but yeah, that's
The
another
thing is,
talk.
it's like I'm not even talking about winning, right?
Yeah, you're not even talking. You're just
The
talking just
the the
good
ki- the kid
foundation.
embraced the town. The kid put his heart and soul into trying to get them
And
into the
he
finals,
just
which
bought
he
a
did.
home. He just bought a home in Dallas like last year. Like
Yeah.
he was in it for the long haul, and he
Yeah,
almost got
man.
that super contract. He was almost eligible for that big super contract.
Supermax, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's like
I feel like
I
the
love
Mavs just
Dirk.
didn't want to pay
I
him.
love Dirk
Yeah,
for the longest time, and when he retired, we got Luca, and I was like, shit, man, this is Dirk all over again. I'm gonna get to see like how it was Dirk in his beginning years, and this GM just went in and just ripped the city its heart. Like, I for what? For nothing.
yeah.
You get
It's
Anthony
bad.
Davis, who is good, but he's always injured. Guess what? He's injured
First game
again.
in,
Yeah. What was the point of this?
and
None.
he's out for a
You
month.
you just alienated your entire fan base. All the goodwill you accumulated, it's
Over the past
gone.
three
When you
years, four
leave,
years.
we're not going to care. We're going to cheer. And what's the point at that, right?
Like I do hope, just for Luca's sake, I do hope if he does stay with the
The
Lakers, or
Lakers.
whatever. I do hope he goes far. Whether he stays with that team or he gets traded to a different team or he goes somewhere else, wherever he ends up doing, I hope he succeeds because
Yeah.
he
He
deserves to
did
win.
this. Yeah.
He's a humble like athletes. You don't really get a lot of humble, kind-hearted, like likable people. It's hard to
Yeah.
get that athlete because when you're winning so much, it kind of gets to your head. You have that ego, you have the pride. He doesn't let that get to his head. He always
No.
seems very mature, very just happy to be there.
And it's a game, and then he treats it as a game, and that's what we loved about it.
Hmm.
I don't even like the Lakers, but I have to watch the Lakers because I love Luca and I want to see him succeed. I said,
He
come
played
on,
today, didn't he?
man.
Or is that tomorrow he
It's
plays?
gonna be today. Yeah, I think the game started, but yeah.
Yeah, well, hey,
I
good luck, my
know
man.
Dirk was there to see him, so that's good
Oh,
to see.
yeah, I know
Yeah,
Dirk was. I know a lot of like old Bass players were kind of shocked.
yeah.
New
Even
and
Cuban was shocked.
yeah,
Right?
Cuban apparently didn't know about it, which I'm like,
Yeah,
I know he's no longer the majority owner. He sold partial shares last year, and he's pissed off about that. I know he regrets selling. I have a feeling he's gonna try.
of course he
He's gonna
does.
try
Yeah,
buying it back or try and get back in because he loves the Mavs.
the
That's one
Adelson
thing.
family is one of the richest families out there. No amount of money is gonna make them want to
Yeah,
sell.
I
So
heard that rumor that it's a ploy so they can have an excuse to move to Vegas or
Vegas,
something, and I'm just like,
it's not gonna be the same. That'd be a dumb idea, in my opinion.
yeah, it's kind of like what they did
Create
with
a new team.
well,
Vegas
it's kind of like what
deserves
they
a
did
new team.
with the football team in Vegas. It was a California team. I think I can't remember what team it was, but they moved to Vegas because of money issues or something. They kind of just ran the organization to the ground, so they had a reason to move.
Mm.
And I have a feeling if that's their long goal, 3, 4, 5 years, run into the ground where you can sell it for a decent price or something and move locations. It just seems dumb. It just seems
Yeah,
dumb.
why? That was one
Just
of the biggest markets in the U.S. Why would you
yeah,
do that?
like whenever you think
That's
of
like saying
Dallas
I'm gonna
teams, you
run
have the
the
Texas Rangers,
Lakers
you have
down
the
to the
Dallas,
ground just so I can
yeah,
move it. It doesn't
you
make
have
any
like the
sense.
Dallas Stars, you have the Rangers, you have the Mavs. We don't talk about the Cowboys, but like you have three pretty good teams. Like last year, all three teams minus the Cowboys made it pretty far into championship division. I mean, the Rangers won, right?
Yeah, I think the Rangers won. Yeah,
The
yeah, yeah.
Rangers won. The
Stars
Stars,
made
I
it pretty
think,
far.
Stars made like second round of playoffs or something. And Mavs made it to championships and lost. But like, wouldn't you want to continue riding that momentum, that fan high? No, you're just gonna like suck it dry and just. All right, well, hey, that's a
Yeah,
depressing talk though. So let's just
it is.
let us know down below. What did you guys think about the trade, or the Super Bowl as a whole? Any of these movies or shows that we mentioned, have y'all watched any of these trailers or the shows? Are you caught up on anything? Is the MCU winning y'all back? I think that's like the biggest question. Can 2025 redeem MCU?
It has to.
Yeah, and I think I'm gonna leave it at that. Let us know down below what y'all think.
All right. Peace.
All right, peace out.